Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video, we are going to see how to implement JWT based token authentication in Golang. So let's get started. So what is JWT? JWT stands for JSON Web Token. It is used to do authentication and authorization based on token. I also created a dedicated video on JWT with Spring Boot, so you can check that out as well. Here we will be doing the JWT using the Golang. So here we will be doing three things. One is to create a login API, so user can log in, and once the user is logged in, an authentication token, JWT token, has been created for it. And after that, for every request, JWT token is passed from the client, so server can authenticate and authorize the request itself. So we will be creating a homepage API as well. That homepage API will authenticate the token, will authorize the token, and then if the token is valid, then the user is allowed to visit the homepage, else it will throw the unauthorized access exception. We will also create one API for the refresh token. So suppose if you have created the token that will be available for 5 minutes, suppose. So after 5 minutes, that token has to be refreshed and reused again. So we'll create one API to refresh that token again, and the token can be used in the APIs. So let's go ahead and create the Go application where we will create these three APIs: login API, home API, and the refresh API, and see how we can work through the JWT tokens. Let's go to the Go path over here. Okay, so this is my Go path. Here I will create my application. Let me just create the application JWT tutorial, I'll say. Okay, and let's open in VS Code. Now if you want to know more about JWT, you can go to JWT Web Tokens JWT.io website, and here you can see all these details about the JWT. So here there is also a debugger available over here where you can pass your JWT and you can see the details over here in the payload itself. It will show all the details, your header part, your data part, and the signature itself, like what type of algorithm that you have used to create your JWT, what is the payload data of your JWT. It is always advisable to not to store password in your JWT, okay, because it is visible, it's a public token over here. Okay, so if you want to see anytime that what is your JWT token and what data it is having and what particular algorithm it is using, then you can come here, you can paste your JWT token over here, and you will get all those information over here. Now let's go ahead in the Go application. Okay, we'll go to VS Code and let's create the main.go file over here, and we'll say this is main package, and we'll create the main method over here. Now inside this method we will define the three handlers over here. So let's define http.handlefunc, and here we have to pass the URL pattern. We will say login, and after that we have to pass the handler. We will say login handler, and this way we'll create three handlers over here. We'll create the home handler, this will be home, and here we'll create the refresh one. So this handle function is part of the net HTTP package. Now we have to start the server. So let's use the log package and print the errors if it's any, and inside this we'll say http.listen and serve, and we'll pass the port information that my application should run on port 8080, and we are not using any router framework, so we'll pass nil over here. So this is very simple over here, right? We just created the main method, and inside this main method we created three handler functions, that is login, home, and refresh, and we'll start our application on port 8080. Okay, and we passed nil as the router over here. Now let's create the handler.go file, and there we will create these three handler functions and we will implement our logic there. So let's create the handlers.go file, and this is part of package main. And now let's create these three handler functions and create the handler function. We'll create the home as well, and we'll create the refresh as well. These three handler functions are created, which is taking response writer and the reference of the request, HTTP request, as the input parameters. Now in this three particular functions we will write our code. So let's create few of the variables we can use over here. Okay, first we will be using the JWT key over here. So let's create the JWT key. We'll create where JWT key equals to, it will be the byte array, and we'll pass the string as secret key. Okay, this is our JWT secret key that we will use in our JWT token to sign our JWT token. Okay, now let's create one map of a user which will contain username and password. Okay, because we are not connecting to database. Generally, we'll be connecting to database and fetch the username and password. But here, I'm just creating a map over here for the sake of simplicity and time. I'll create a map having couple of users and we'll pass username and password over there. So let me just create the map. Variable users equals to map of string and string, which will contain suppose user1 and key as password1. We'll copy paste this information. We'll add user2 and password2. So this is just a simple map that we have created, which is storing two users with username user1 and password is password1 and user2 and password2. Now let's create one struct called credentials, so we can pass the data as a username and password from the APIs and we can use over here. So let's create the struct over here. We'll say type credentials as struct and we'll say username as string, password as string. This is a simple struct that we have created. Now we are going to take the data in a JSON format. Let's add the JSON information as well. We will say JSON and this will be the username that will be passing from the API and this will be the password. So this is a simple credential struct that we have created. Now let's create one more struct that is called claims. So that claims will be using to create a payload for our JWT. Inside that payload we will pass our username and when that particular token is expiring. Okay, so let's create that particular claims over here. We'll say type claims of struct and we will say username string and we will pass this JSON as well, this JSON implementation over here. Now we will embed one standard claim struct over here from the JWT library, JWT dot standard claims over here. So with this we will get the extra information like audience, expires date, ID, issue at, issuer, not before subject. So these are the extra particular fields that we can get from the standard claims. We will be using the expired at attribute, okay, variable from this particular standard claims for now, but you can use all this as well. So this is a claim struct that we have created. Now let's go ahead and use the login method, and inside this login method let's implement our logic. When the username and password that we are getting from the body of the request, if it's matching with the credentials of the particular map that we have stored over here, or either you can use the database also, if the credentials and username are correct, then create a claim object for it. Then after creating the claim object, create the JWT token from it and store the data into cookies and pass the request back. So let's implement that particular logic over here. So here we'll create the object of credentials of type credentials, and we will take the data from the JSON decoder. So we will use JSON dot new decoder. Here we'll pass the body of the request dot decode to reference of credentials. So this is a simple thing that we have done over here. In the earlier video also, when we created the Go API and Mux, we have used this particular syntax over here. You can check that out as well if you are not aware how to create the REST APIs in Golang. And we will see if there is any error over here. And here let's handle the errors. If there is any error while getting the data from the body itself, then we can throw the exception. So we'll just check if error not equals to nil. So don't get confused with this particular syntax. This is just not equal to. I have enabled the ligatures in my VS Code, so that's why you are seeing this way, okay? But generally it is not equal to itself. Now if we are getting any error over here to decode the body, then we will just throw the error back to the client. wd.write header will say status bad request and will return. So we have handled the error over here. Now if there is no error, then we should get the data in the credentials object over here. Okay, struct over here. Now let's match the data of it with the data that we have in our users map over here. So let me store the data of password. Here I'll say this is expected password. Okay, expected password, okay, equals to get the data from the users, and here we'll pass credentials.username. So whatever username we are getting in the credentials object over here, with that username we are getting the data from the users map, and we are storing in the expected password and OK variable. So from this map we will get to know, okay, if data is available with this particular username. If so, then what is the expected password? So we'll match the username and password both from this particular syntax. Now let's do the if condition. If not okay, if the password is not stored or expected password is not equals to credentials.password, then this request is not authorized. So we'll just say wt.writeHeader http.status unauthorized and we'll say return. So we just check the simple thing over here, if the password is correct or not. Okay, if the passwords are not correct and the username is not correct, then we are just throwing the error back that this particular request is not authorized. If the request is authorized, then what we'll do, we'll create the object of a claims and then we have to sign that particular token. So for that, let's create one expiration time over here. So we'll just say expiration time equals to, we'll use time dot now, and inside this we will add 5 minutes. Add time dot minute into 5. So what we are doing is we are creating the time over here plus 5 minutes, current time plus 5 minutes. So this will be the expiration time of our token. Now let's create the claim over here. So we'll say claims equals to the reference of claims, and inside this claim we'll pass username equals to credentials.username and standard claims equals to JWT.standard claims, and inside this standard claims we'll pass expired at expiration time.unix. This particular claims is created. Now we have to use this claims object plus the JWT key that we have defined over here and to create the token out of it. So let's create the token from here. So we'll create token equals to JWT dot new with claim, and here we need to provide the signing method. So we'll provide the JWT dot, we'll provide the HS256 signing method, and then we have to pass the claims over here. Okay, this is simple over here that we are creating the claims over here. Now let me just do token over here, and now from this token we will get the token string. So we'll say token string and error equals to token dot sign string, and here we have to pass the JWT key. Spelling mistake. Okay, now if there is any error over here, if error not equals to nil, we'll say internal server error w.writeHeader, say internal server error, and we'll say return. If there is no error over here, that means we got our token string over here and we are ready to set those particular things in our cookies. So let's set the cookies over here. Say http.set cookies, and here we need to pass the writer object and then the reference of the http.cookie, and inside this cookie we will pass name equals to token, then value equals to token string, and expires at expiration time. Cool. So this is simple. Just we have set the cookies over here with the name of the cookie as token and the token string as the value and expiration time as the expiration time of the cookie itself. So all these values, cookie values, will be stored to our cookie into our browser or whatever client that you are using. Okay, so this was very simple over here, guys. I'll just walk you through once again. Okay, so when we hit the login request over here, okay, this login request, then login handler function will be called. So it will come over here. We will be passing the username and password. So that username and password, for that username and password we have created the struct over here that will store username and password. We created the object of it and we are getting the data from the request body itself, and we are decoding those information over here. If there is any error while decoding, then we will throw that this is a bad request. If not, then we will continue and we will check the username and password if are correct or not. We will check that username and password is the same available in our map that we have created or not. In general, in our production grade application, we will be checking this particular thing in our database. Okay, for the simplicity, we have created the map over here. Once this is done, so here we will check if the data is available or not. Not okay means the data is not available in the map. So if the data is not available or the password is not matching with the password that we have, that means this is the unauthorized access. So we'll throw back that this is the unauthorized access. Once everything is successful, once the password is matched and we are ready to go, we are creating one expiration time for our token, that is 5 minutes, and after that we are creating the object of the claims. Inside this claim, you can see that we have created username and then we have embedded one struct as well. So we are setting this username, and inside this embedded struct we are storing the expires at value as well. So we are storing those information that username equals to credentials.username, and for the standard claims we are creating that standard claims, and inside this standard claims we are using the expires at expiration time.unix. So these values that we are setting over here. So now to create the token over here, what we did, we use the JWT.new with claims function over here, and inside this function we have to pass the claims object that we have created, and we have to also pass which particular algorithm that we are using to create our token. So we have used signing method HS256. There are a lot of other available that you can use any of them. Once the token is created, we need to get the sign token string. So we created the variable token string, and with token.sign string passing the JWT key, which is a my secret, we will be getting the token string available. We again check if there is any error, then throw internal server error. If there is no error, that means we are ready to go, and we set those information, token string, its token value and expiration time in our cookies. So this login method is completed. So now in the home method, what we'll be doing is whatever data, whatever JWT token that we are getting back, that should be exactly the same that we have sent back. And if it's authenticating, if the token is valid, then we will allow the user to visit the home page. Else we will throw unauthorized access exception. Let's get the value from the cookie, and then let's create the claims of it, and let's do the authentication. So let's create the cookie variable, error variable, and let's get the data from the request r.cookie, and from this cookie we need to get the token cookie itself, and we'll check if error not equals to null. Okay, here we will check if that error equals to error no cookie. So here we will check if there is no cookie, that means that's an unauthorized access. We need a cookie with the token. Okay, so we'll say wd.write header unauthorized, then we will do return. If that is of not this type, then we will say wd.write header, that is bad request. This is simple. So now let's get the value of a token and set over here token str equals to cookie.value. Okay, so we got the token string from the cookies. Now let's create the claims object over here. Claims equals to reference of claims, and here we have to parse the claims back using the token string and JWT key. So let's create the token error JWT dot parse with claims over here. Inside this particular method parse with claims, we have to pass the token string, claims, and the key function over here. So let's pass those information over here. We'll pass token str, then we'll pass claims over here, and then we'll pass the function over here. That function should return the JWT key and null. That is the error over here. So this particular parse with claim function will return the claims over here. Okay, this particular things, claims object over here, with using the token string, claims particular object, and the JWT key information. Now here we'll check if error not equals to null, and then this particular error equals to of JWT dot this error dot signature invalid. If this is this particular error, then we'll write wd dot write header unauthorized signature unauthorized access, and then we'll return. Else we'll say w dot write header bad request and return. If there is no error, then we will check if token that we have got that is valid or not. If the token that we got over here that is not valid, tkn, then we will say w dot write header unauthorized access and will return. Now that means till here if we checked everything, that means our token is valid. Now if the token is valid, then we will pass the information and we will allow user to enter our home page. So we'll just say w.write and we will write with the byte array, and here we'll say fmt.printf. Here we say hello user, and here we'll pass claims.username. So we are writing back that welcome whatever the username it is. So once everything is authenticated. So what we did over here, it's very simple over here. We got the cookie from the request itself, from the token name that we have setting over here. Once we got the cookie, and we are also checking this particular error, that this error is of type error no cookie, then that is status unauthorized. If it's not this type, then we will say bad request. If it's valid, then we are getting the token string from the cookie.value, and we are creating the reference of the claims over here, claim struct, and with the jwt.parsewithClaims function over here, we are passing token string, claims object, and the function over here that is returning the interface, and we are passing the JWT key over here. This will return the token over here, and we are checking the again error over here, that if that particular error is not nil and that particular error is of type error signature invalid, then we are throwing the error that it is unauthorized request, and if it's not of this type, we are saying that it's a bad request. If there is no error, that means after that we are checking that if this particular token is valid or not. If this particular token is not valid, then we are again saying that is unauthorized request. After this, at the last, the token is valid. So once the token is valid, we are passing the data back to our client in the request and saying hello whatever the username it is. So let's run this application and check before implementing the refresh. When we use this home particular function over here, when we call this home API without passing the token information, we are not allowed, and if we pass the token information, we should be allowed. Let's run this. We'll say go build, and we'll say JWT tutorial.exe. We'll run this. Now let's go to Insomnia. You can use anything, okay? Now let's create the new request. Here we'll say http localhost colon 8080 is the port number / home is the API, right? We'll go to main, home is our API, okay? So we'll call this and our port is 8080. So let's call this, okay? We'll do send. Spelling mistake again, we'll hit send again, okay? And here you can see that we are getting unauthorized access over here. This particular request home we are not able to authorize because we don't have token information. So now let's get the token information. Let's get the token and then we will hit home over here. So to get the token, we have to log in first. So we'll do login. Inside this body, we have to pass the JSON data, and we have to pass username colon user1, password is password1 over here. That was the password that we have stored over here. Let's check that again. This is the one. So let's change to post request, and let's give the wrong password over here first, and let's check what's happening over here. Okay, you can see that we are getting the unauthorized access. So that means we are not authenticating the data over here. The data is not correct. So let's pass the correct data and check what's happening. You can see that we are getting 200 OK over here. And one more thing is we got the cookie as well. You can see that the cookie name, that is token over here, and we got the value also. So if you copy paste this particular value over here, and if you check in the JWT over here, you can see that you are getting the particular header and payload data as well. Okay, the header is HS256. This is the algorithm that we have used, and in the payload data you can see that my username is user1 that we set over here, and the expiration time is this particular thing. You can check the data as well over here. So we are getting the token over here. Now after this, after we get the token over here, if we go to home page over here, let's change to get request, and if I send OK, then you can see that my request is successful, and if I see, I'm getting hello user1. Okay, so we are able to authenticate and authorize our request using the JWT token over here. So till this particular cookie is available, okay, if I go to manage cookie, till the time, you can see the expiration time is there. Till this particular time, this cookie will be available. and till that we'll be able to authenticate the token. So this is how you will be doing the authentication and authorization using the JWT. We created the home request and we created the sign in request, login request. We are creating the token and we are calling the home page as well. Now let's go ahead and do the refresh token as well. Stop the server. Now let's go to the refresh method over here. Now inside this refresh token also, most of the things for the home will be same, because we will be taking the token, we will be authenticating the token, all those information will be same till here. Okay, so we'll copy paste all this information. So here also we are getting the token, we are taking the token information over here. We did all the validations over here. We got the token string, we created the claims out of it. We again check all those information and we will also check the token is valid or not over here. So till here we did similar to the home method over here. We get the token from the particular request and we did all the validations over here. So once everything is valid, we have to check the time interval now. Okay, so we'll check if it's about to expire, that particular token. At that time we will create a new token, we will create a new refresh token and we will pass that token over here. So let's do that thing over here. So we'll do if time.unix claims.expired at, 0, and we'll subtract the current time from it, subtract time.now, and if this is greater than 30 into time.seconds, w.write header bad request. So this is a simple check that we added over here, that if we have provided the 5-minute token interval expiration time, then if the time interval is around 30 seconds remaining, at that time we can refresh the token. Okay, you cannot refresh token every time. Okay, so this is the check for it. After that we have to create a new token. So to create a new token, we will go to this particular thing over here. Okay, expiration time. So we need expiration time, claims information, this is the token, and we again have to check this error. This all things we have to do again. So we will do all those things back again. So expiration time we got. Okay, we don't need this information because we have already have the claims object. So we'll just do claims dot expires at expiration time.unix. So we set the expiration time again over here. We created the token with the same method and we got the token string. We validated the token string, and once this is done, we can set the cookie back again. So let's set this cookie. We'll copy from here. Okay, and we'll paste the cookies over here. Now for the simplicity, you can understand, so I'm just changing the name over here so you can directly identify that new cookie is created for now. Okay, otherwise you'll be using the same one. So for the simplicity also, I'll just remove this condition over here for the 30 seconds, that at the last 30 seconds only you can create the refresh token. I will just remove for now so we can check instantaneously. Okay, we don't have to wait for it. So this is just a refresh method that we have created to refresh the token. Now let's run it again and let's see what's happening. We'll do go build and JWT tutorial. So this is running. Let's go to Insomnia. Let's do the post request to the login over here. Hit on send and you can see that one cookie is created. If you go to manage cookie also, there is one cookie available with the token name. And after that, if you go to the home page, we are allowed to access this particular page over here. Now suppose after the 4.5 minutes of time, you are thinking that your cookies will be expired, you will be creating the other refresh request to refresh your token itself. Okay, so let's do that now itself. Refresh token, and here you can see that once we hit send over here, you can see that new cookie is created with the refresh token over here. So my old cookie was validated and then accordingly new cookie was created. So if you go to the manage cookies over here, you can see that we are having 2 cookies over here. So this way you can call the refresh token as well when there is a expiration time nearby. And all this management has to be done from the client side, because client is responsible to send the JWT token for every request for authorization and authentication. When you're working with a microservice, that's a point that we have to take in mind. So that's all in this video, how to create the JWT token and how to use JWT token for authentication and authorization of your Go APIs, and how you can create the refresh token also to refresh your tokens at every interval. So I hope you have liked this video, and if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram with the same handle, Daily Code Buffer, and we can chit chat over there as well. So till then, happy coding. Bye bye.